welcome to the NFL Big Match Preview brought to you by NFL Insight. I'm Andy Richmond, and one of the games that we're putting under the microscope this week for NFL Insight is the New England Patriots visit to the Baltimore Ravens in a game that sees a repeat of last year's AFC Championship game. We're going to take a look at some of the betting markets, which are most important on this game, of course, reflect on the previous games between the two teams. I just mentioned one there, that AFC Championship game from last year, how their seasons have gone so far, and take a look at the important tactical elements within this game and give you a small sample of some of our live match trading statistics, which will form the basis of a lot of our decisions and strategies on Sunday night, when this will be another game that we're trading live. Let's take a look at the match odds first and compare them with our master tissue, which we have on each and every single game in the NFL. And as you can see, the Patriots and the Ravens, they're quite close together. This is a real sort of pick-em game, isn't it? Not a lot of value in the prices, probably less so in the Patriots. We think they should be a little bit longer, but there always is, like those sides. The Patriots, there's always a lot of love around for the Patriots in the NFL, and bookmakers find it hard to go against them. It's always ticking away in their heads, but the Ravens have been coming on strong of late. Let's now take a look at how the sides are matched up on Matchbook and just see the money line there. Well, it's pretty same. They're 2.21 the Patriots and the Ravens in at 1.79 at the moment. Just that home advantage playing out for them, and the 2.5 point handicap line, that just brings things into line. That handicap is exactly where we think it should be to bring these two sides into line. So a real tough game to pick this. So hopefully the facets of the game that I'm going to go through will make you decide who you think. I'm just siding towards the Ravens, actually, just giving up those points. I think they're just becoming a very, very tough side to beat at the moment. The points line 45. I'd be sliding under that, especially the way the Ravens are having a little bit of trouble converting points at the moment. I think that odds against that 45 points probably just slide under that at the moment. Let's just have a look at how these, let's reflect a little bit here. There's just 10 meetings between these two teams. The Patriots reeled off the first 5, but they've lost their last 2 meetings, and of course that last meeting came on the Ravens' winning run to the Super Bowl last year in the AFC Championship game, which Baltimore took out 28-13. They were 7.5 point underdogs in that game, and they really did take it to the Patriots on that occasion. That was quite an upset, but that winning run for the Ravens last year was a fair bit of an upset all round as well. Of course, they upset Denver on the way and then upset the 49ers in the big show itself. How's the season been going so far? Well, the Patriots, they're 10-4. They were beaten at Miami last week, but they have not suffered consecutive defeats all year, and the win here would see them clinch their 5th consecutive AFC East title. The Ravens 8-6, 4 straight wins for Baltimore, and they're once again looking as though they're shaking off what I thought was going to be their Super Bowl hangover, and they're in control of their own fate in the AFC North. Importantly, let's take a look at how these teams match up. 5 important elements for each team that could be vital in deciding how this plays out. The Patriots defence is good, but I don't think it's great. They play well in spurts, but no consistency, and they'll give up some big plays. Sometimes they're clutch, sometimes they're not. The question is asked, is this a championship defence? It doesn't look like it right now, but at least they've shown some improvement in their weakest areas. There were some performances to build on in the loss to Miami, and the Pats will face another tough test next Sunday in Baltimore. But even when they play well in all areas that have haunted them this season, they could not come through when they really needed to. Again, important point is they forced no turnovers, and that was a real staple of the defence over the last couple of years. Without Rob Gronkowski, it's been up to a couple of other players to step up, and that's why this title is called Edelman-Dola, a mixture of 2 wide receivers I'm going to talk about now who are very, very important to the New England Patriots. Julian Edelman had 13 catches for 137 yards and a touchdown last Sunday. He was targeted 19 times. He's fast becoming Brady's favourite receiver, and Danny Amendola, Brady seems to be learning to sort of trust him more. He finished with 10 catches, 131 yards, including 57 yards on a final drive, which set up those shots at the end zone which they couldn't convert against Miami. And Edelman is really showing up the clutch moments of games. That's a clear sign of how far he's come since being a spot reserve on offense in the last 3 seasons. Really, it's clear now that any Patriots Super Bowl run will revolve around what I've entitled the Edelman-Dola offence. The Pats are, they continue to, and they're at 10-4 at the moment, and you just sort of wonder whether this sort of 10-4, whether they can actually convert from here. They've done well, but they just need to go on and convert from 10-4. Does it really? Are they really as good as that record suggests? I think that this NFC East, the AFC East rather, has been a weak division this year, and they tend to sort of steamroller their through it. The Jets and the Jets and the Bills haven't really provided an awful lot of opposition this year. The Dolphins are improving, and when you look at when they come against some difficult sides, 10-4, it might just hide some things away, and I just I just wonder whether they're quite as good as their record. Let's move on to their running game, and the Pats continue to manage Stephen Ridley's snaps and got some good production from LeGarrette Blount as well in the starters row, but it's still clear that Blount, when they run him, he lacks Ridley's explosiveness and ability to make something out of nothing. Ridley finished the game with just 8 carries for 34 yards. He ran hard and protected the ball well, and perhaps the issues that he had earlier in the year when he was fumbling a lot, perhaps they're gone. But can the Pats trust him enough to run the ball consistently in this game, which is important, and in the playoffs, which they will undoubtedly get into? I think this is going to be determined a lot in the last 2 games of the regular season. It'll be interesting to see how they use Ridley, and is he now clearly ready? Now, Tom Brady. Even without Gronkowski in its lineup, it's clear that Tom Brady is still doing all he can to make the Patriots competitive. But it's also clear that he wants to get the ball out quickly, and that is affecting his ability to get the ball deep downfield. He needs more time to let those situations develop. Against Miami, he had an average time to throw of 2.15 seconds on 58 dropbacks, while his season average is 2.46 seconds. The Patriots quarterback attempted just 1 pass over 20 yards downfield, and he completed it to Josh Boyce early in the 3rd quarter. Too many drives ended up stalling when the quick game wasn't there, and pressure started to come. On 18 pressured dropbacks, Brady went 7 of 17 for 85 yards and a quarterback rating of 52.3. He must know that the Ravens will be coming after him again on Sunday, so I expect Brady to use that the quick release again, but what it doesn't do is get the Patriots down the field quickly. It's more of a dink and dunk offence. Now let's take a look at the Ravens and how their sort of dynamics are going around them. There's no Ray Lewis or Ed Reed left in this team as well, and they're but neither of them has been the most glaring omission from the Ravens team this year. That probably goes to the rushing attack. They ranked dead last, Baltimore, dead last in yards per carry and 29th in yards per game on the ground. And there haven't been any reason to think that's going to change anytime soon. When the Ravens couldn't run the ball early in the year, I just assumed that problem would sort itself out. But we're in week 16 and the Ravens still can't run the ball. Now, Joe Flacco just isn't the type of quarterback who can drop back 50 times per game. Baltimore's chances of making the playoffs and doing any damage, if it gets there, if they get there, will increase dramatically if there's any semblance of the ground game. They must get that ground game going. Let's talk about their scoring potential, because Justin Tucker instantly probably became the most popular kicker in the NFL after his winning 61-yarder against the Lions on Monday Night Football. And that's great, and Tucker deserves to be recognised for his brilliance of kicking. I think his stats are quite stunning. He's 35 of 37 this year, made 33 straight field goals, and in his career, he's only in his 2nd year, he's 65 of 70, and obviously has a really strong leg as well. But this is where you come down. Field goals generally don't win you games, and Baltimore, they lead the league. They've 35 field goals they've made, but they rank 29th with only 1.9 touchdowns per game. Their failure to score a touchdown in week 15, the Ravens slipped to 28th in terms of red zone touchdown scoring. The team has eked out some last-minute victories in the last 3 weeks, but the winning won't continue if the Ravens have to keep settling for 3 points every time they get into the red zone. Now let's talk about. We've spoken about Joe Flacco. The one thing they must do is protect him. and they played the offensive line played really well against a dominant Detroit Lions defensive line. They kept Joe Flacco clean most of the time. Now, whether they can keep doing that will remain to be seen. It's a huge factor in whether Flacco can lead the offense through the playoffs like he did last season or not. He's shown really good. Flacco's shown how good he can be when he has time to make reads and let the plays develop down the field. The drop-off comes in Flacco's performance when he's pressured. He has a passer rating of 90.5 when there's no pressure, but that mark's cut in half to 44.9 when defenders beat the offensive line. Joe Flacco, he can carry this team, but will the offensive line let him? Protect Flacco is very, very important. Now, this offense has been inconsistent all year. I've already touched on it a little bit, but the Ravens have struggled to punch it into the end zone when they do manage to move the ball into the red zone. Now, that's important if you're trading the game. Just remember that and look at the prices that they go to when they are in the red zone, and just think of how often they converted this week. Entering week 15, the Ravens ranked 22nd in red zone touchdown percentage with a conversion rate of 52%. Dennis Pitter's return should improve Baltimore's red zone offense, but the struggles continued against the Lions. The Ravens were stymied on all three of their red zone trips and didn't score a touchdown all game. Luckily, they had the aforementioned Justin Tucker to bail them out. Nevertheless, offensive coordinator Jim Caldwell needs to find a way to increase efficiency near the goal line if the Ravens are going to make a playoff push. Now, it's an alarming trend and quite the reverse of what we're used to seeing in Baltimore. Usually the Ravens defence is the one making clutch plays like picking off Peyton Manning overtime or making a goal line stand in the Super Bowl. This season the defence hasn't been able to get off the field. The 2013 version of the Ravens defence is better than the Super Bowl winning unit, except for late in the fourth quarter of crucial games. That's kind of an important period in playoff games, so we'll have to wait and see whether Baltimore can close out a game with its defence. They've just about been managing it, but they need to close out games and be aggressive on defence. Now, just to round out the show, just have a look at the trading stats. I mentioned them at the top of the show. You can see here just the percentages of if Baltimore are leading by 7 points at half time, how often they go on to win the games, and how often New England go on to win games. If the game's tied at half time, you can convert those percentages into prices. So you've almost got a live tissue in your own hands, and we have the ability through our live trading sheets to predict a tissue price at any time, a point in the game with any score on the board, and how likely certain statistical outcomes are to happen from that point on. You can also see we work out other things like chances of sides taking a 10-0 lead, or the chance of leading by a certain score in the fourth quarter, or any quarter from that fact. We've just shown you the fourth quarter there. Now, these statistics, they're just a small taste of all the data that we have available to ourselves at NFL Insight and via our live updates, which I find incredibly useful when we're trading the game live on Sunday night. I hope you've enjoyed this preview. It's a small part of what we do here at NFL Insight, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is NFL Insight TV channel on YouTube, where you'll get all the latest previews each time we bring one out. I'll be back soon with further match previews, and we're hoping to extend those in the playoffs, which are just a couple of short weeks away now. If you like your betting and betting focused previews, well, we also publish those via our website, which is www.betting-insight.com, and there we take a look at all the best betting opportunities on the game, all the prop bets on the markets, once we've taken into account all the tactical factors and more that I've mentioned in this preview. I hope you've enjoyed this preview from NFL Insight, where we're bringing you NFL previews, statistics, trading views and betting advice, and bringing them all together, where we believe NFL Insight is at the forefront of a new way of looking at, and most importantly, betting on the NFL. I've been Andy Richmond. I hope you've enjoyed our preview of the Patriots at the Ravens on Sunday night, and the game will be shown live on Sky. We hope to see you again here soon on NFL Insight.